morning. Welcome to the E3 Live Market Report. I'm Pat McClatchy. I'm with the Ag Market Network. We want to welcome all of you today. The program today, in a couple of minutes, we'll have our export sales report coming out. We'll go over that and look at the market's reaction as it comes out, and we'll break down the report. Then we'll be looking at the market, what's happened recently in the cotton and the soybean, corn, wheat markets, and look forward and just try to see what could be happening looking down the road. Let's just make a few notes here on the market. I'll let you know where we're trading right now in advance of the report. The cotton market in May is up 31. May soybeans are up 3.5. We have May wheat up 3 1/4, and May corn is up about a penny. Looking at last week's numbers, these are not the numbers about to come out. The cotton number, 36,000 bales last week. The real news, new crops cotton was had sales of 92,000. So new crop was good. Wheat was 445,000 last week. Corn was 418,000. Beans were 167,900. So we'll be looking at these numbers as they come out. But I just wanted to let everybody know and remind them what we saw last week. We've had a lot of things happening in the market, especially yesterday. We're going to comment on that, the reasons behind it, and what we're anticipating in these markets. I'll tell you quickly, the dollar is up 40 points. Crude oil is down $1.50. Gold is right now up about $10 an ounce. So we have somewhat of a mixed market. We are looking right now. Let's go ahead and try to pull up our export sales numbers, and then we'll break them down. Last week it took quite a while to get these up from the USDA. We'll get the actual numbers. I see them right here coming out. We just wanted to be able to get the breakdown. First, cotton, 238,600, a very large number in cotton, which reflects the sell-off we saw in the cotton market over the last week or two. Those lower prices stimulated export demand from cotton mills. Those cheaper levels ultimately we think will be very supportive looking out for cotton prices. Looking next at wheat, 391,000. 391,000 is slightly off from last week's number. Looking back, and I didn't do this on cotton, let's do it. Cotton was up 31 before the number came out. Cotton now is up 55 in May at 63.03. This export number a little lighter than we've seen. And the wheat market right now, May wheat's up about 3 cents. So that's about the same, maybe a little bit lower. We're looking at the next number coming out, corn, 502,300, and the corn reaction, corn was up a penny right now. Corn has not moved. It's just at the same place, up a penny. Looking at the soybean number was 342,000. That's better than last week's number. Soybeans so far have reacted, actually have sold off about 1/2 cent. The market that seems to have had the strongest reaction is cotton, up about 70 right now in the May. It's 63.18, high of the day 63.25. July cotton is up about 50, trading at 63.35. December cotton is up about 25. So most of the strength in the front month. Breaking these numbers down, as we see the USDA numbers here. Wheat, the number we gave you, 391. Well, let's go first to cotton. I'm sorry. Cotton, 238,600, up noticeably from the previous week and also over the 4-week average. China took 85,600. I think we all expected that. South Korea took 30,900. Turkey took 20,100. All that is in the old crop. Looking through here, actual shipments of 296,000, also very good. And those primary destinations were China, and that's really what we've got. They have a new crop sales of 50,200, which is actually quite good for new crop. So mills are, I think, concerned and want to make sure they can go ahead and lock up cotton for next year. Let's now look at the wheat breakdown. Wheat, 391,900 metric tons. That's down 12% from the previous week, but in line with the last month. Panama took 81,800. Taiwan took 73,400. The Dominican Republic took 71,200. As we look through here, we did have cancellations of 86,300 in that market. And the wheat is up 2.5 on the day, so it's dropped a little bit since the numbers come out. The corn number at 502,300. That's up 20% from the previous week, but down 31% from the 4-week average. Japan took 243,100 metric tons. Colombia took 108,300 metric tons. Mexico took 69,100 metric tons. Looking here, there were cancellations of 132,700. So that's the number in the breakdown for corn. Corn right now is unchanged on the day, so we've dropped a penny in the corn since the report came out. Now let's look at soybeans. Net sales of 242,000 metric tons. That's up noticeably from the previous week, but down 13% from the prior 4-week average. Bangladesh took 107,500. Mexico took 102,200. Indonesia took 32,100. China looks like they canceled 37,300 metric tons on the soybean numbers. So, and small sales for new crop. So that's really what we've got so far. We'd have to say the numbers are not anything surprising in the grains. The number in cotton, we continue to rally. We're up 72 in the May cotton. So that number is being taken very well. As tight as the cotton market has been, especially for high grades, to see big sales continue certainly could lead to discussions about how much cotton do we have left, or very shortly, how much cotton will we have left. It makes for an especially tight situation. As we've discussed before in cotton, there are two worlds of cotton. There's the high quality machine picked cotton like they have in the US and Australia and Brazil, and then there's the rest of the world. And there seems to be plenty of that, but there is a high demand for and a extreme shortage of a higher quality cotton. And so I think the market is reacting to that. Let's look at and comment on the markets, but I think we can make the same comments for everything, whether it's cotton, soybeans, corn, wheat, crude oil, gold, silver, copper. Really, most commodity markets over the last week have reacted in a very negative way because of the strength we've seen in the dollar over the last week. That changed yesterday. But if you look back over the last 10 months, the dollar has rallied 27% over that period. It got over 100 on the index here last week. It's been struggling at that level. Yesterday around noontime, FOMC meeting released some statements, and some of the statements that they made seemed to be taken by the dollar in a negative way. They had been built into the market, the fact that they thought this summer that we would see the Fed raising rates. Some of the statements made yesterday with regard to the unemployment figures and the possibility of not raising rates. And the market reacted in a very sharp way in the dollar. And as that happened, commodities all lifted off and started to rally and have substantial moves up. Why has the dollar been down? Well, one reason is commodity funds, the very large commodity funds, have been selling commodities. We yesterday, early in the day, were at, in one particular commodity index, was at a 12-year low. So it's sort of the flip side of what the dollar's done. So if we are about to see a significant correction in the dollar, it could bode very well for commodity prices. And looking in particular at what's happened over the last week in soybeans and corn and wheat, we'll just put them all together and comment on those. We had over the last week, before yesterday, from the high to the low, soybeans had sold off 44 cents. And over the last 3 weeks, soybeans had sold off 90 cents. And looking at corn over the last week, corn had dropped 26 cents from the high to the low. And over the last 3 weeks, corn had dropped about 30 cents. So most of the drop had been really before this week. The wheat market over the last week, we've seen a 14-cent drop in wheat before yesterday. And over the last month, we've seen a 45-cent drop. And a lot of that is attributed to this strength in the dollar. There are other factors, too, that individually affect these markets, but the overriding pressure on the markets have come from the dollar. So the dollar right now in the day, as I look at my screen, is up 45, but it was down over 200 yesterday. So we'll see, and we'll continue to watch that in these markets, looking at projections, looking at what some analysts have called for on the upside for soybeans and corn and wheat. For soybeans, old crop is right now at 9.67, possibly moving back toward the $10 to $10.20 level. New crop in November soybeans right now are trading at 9.52, possibility of those moving back to anywhere from 9.80 to even as high as $10. Corn, old crop, right now, May corn is at right at 375. Old crop target of 390. New crop target, that's December corn, which is trading right now at $4 even, possibly getting up toward 420. And then wheat, right now, the May wheat is trading at 513. And the old crop projections are for 540, and actually the same projections for new crop wheat. July wheat right now is trading at 516 and a quarter. That's up 2 on the day, and looking for that to get maybe as high as 540 also. Let's take a look at cotton, and it's, as we've discussed, been very simple. We've seen this sell-off in the last couple of weeks for 2 reasons. Really, the dollar moving up, but because we've seen commodity funds that had actually gotten quite long the cotton market a couple of weeks ago. When the market started to stall out with the pressure from the dollar being high, we started seeing these funds coming out of a number of their long positions and even starting to get short the market. And then yesterday, with the sudden news about from the FOMC meeting, and possibility of interest rates not being raised, and the dollar moving down, everything took off. I would say we were up about 125 points in cotton yesterday at about 5 after 1, and 10 minutes later we were up 250. It was an explosive move in that market. So if we continue to see in all these markets stabilization of the dollar, seeing the dollar actually retreat, if we see the commodity funds continue to exit from their probably sizable short positions in these markets, it could make for an explosive move in these markets. Looking at cotton, possibilities there, and many of these are the same things we've been talking about before. Upside old crop, right now the May cotton is at just under 63, possibility of the high 60s, up towards 68 is possible. New crop cotton right now, December cotton is trading at 63.70. It's actually backed off to where it's unchanged on the day. Possibility of it moving toward 70 there. So that's really it for today. We appreciate you joining us and looking at these numbers with us. We want to remind you of a program we do each Monday morning. It's actually the Cotton Incorporated sponsors the program. It's an audio 5-minute program that is done by Dr. O.A. Cleveland. It's put on our site each Monday morning about 10 o'clock. So we'd encourage you to tune into that, to listen to that. We want to thank you again for joining us today on this edition of the E3 Live Market Report. Thank you.